Two for live. Welcome to Vinnies Talk, man. Today is April the 8th. We want to welcome you guys to a special live here, Vinnies Talk. We're going to be doing some readings on the Mexican wolves and wolves in general. As you can see, I have one of my favorite wolves shirts on right now. Today is April 8th. Not such a beautiful day, but beautiful day to be alive. But the days that we have outside are not the greatest. We got rain, cold, and more rain and more cold. The last couple of days, guys, the weather, man, the weather hasn't been so great. We've been dealing with the rain. We've been dealing with the cold, and I looked at the 14-day. And you know what? It's not looking too good as far as weather goes, guys. But you guys are in tune into Vinnies Talk, man. We're on the live right now, live podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining. And if you guys are just joining the podcast, make sure you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for all your future videos here on Vinnies Talk and my YouTube. And today we're gonna do some readings. And learn about these wolves, man. It came to my knowledge studying the gray wolves of, the northern Alaska, and then studying all the wolves that were becoming extinct in the world, especially these Mexican wolves. There's very few left, but today we're going to learn a little bit about them. I mean, I've studied, but I want you guys to tune in. You know what I'm saying? Tune in, Vinnies Talk, and come with me on this wolf journey. The young wolf is live right now, guys. Welcome to Vinnies Talk, and let's get into this podcast. Anyways, thank you guys for joining, and we're going to start off with the Mexican wolf. Now, the Mexican gray wolf, as you would call it, or the Mexican wolf, was also known as a wolf that was coming close to being extinct. In some areas, especially Arizona and other areas, these wolves are also known as the lobo. It's a subspecies of the gray wolf, a native to southeastern Arizona and southern New Mexico. Now, when I was down in Arizona, we were doing a study on wolves. Well, I mean, I was doing a study on wolves to see where they hold their breeding grounds and where they mainly stay at. And the parts of Arizona that I was visiting was we were in this place called Coronado National Forest, and I wasn't sure if there was wolves in this particular area, but I talked to a park ranger of the national forest there that we were visiting, and he had spoke to me and told me that there were wolves, I guess, north and also west of where I was visiting. I believe in the Santa Ritas there was live captured Mexican wolves that were living in those mountains there. So they're very well known in southeastern New Mexico and also southeastern Arizona in the United States, and northern Mexico. That's why they were calling the Great Mexican Wolf. It's also previously ranged into western Texas. It is the smallest of North America's gray wolves, and similar to being extinct gray wolves, though it's distinguished by a smaller, narrow skull and darker pelt, which is yellowish gray and heavily clouded with black over the back and tail. Now, if you take a look at the picture in my thumbnail before you click on this video, on this live, you could see that the Mexican wolf looks kind of like the gray wolf in a way, but it's I feel like it's a little bit more agile, a little bit more fit, not as big as a gray wolf. Like they said, it's a little distinguished a little bit smaller than an actual gray wolf is, because the gray wolves, especially in parts of like, look at these guys. No, these are gray wolves right there. Especially parts of Alaska and up in the British or the Republic or whatever you want to call it, and then down there, and when you go west to Wyoming, you got some gray wolves there. But the Mexican wolves are a little bit more agile, and I would say a little bit more fit, a little bit smaller in size. That's why it says distinguished smaller, and it's got a narrow skull too. Its ancestors were likely the first gray wolves to enter North America after extinction of the Bergen wolf, as indicated by southern range and physical genetics characteristics. Though once held in high regard in pre-Columbia Mexico, it is most endangered gray wolf subspecies in North America. The red wolf as a separate species, having been extradited in the wild during the mid-1900s through a combination of hunting, trapping, poisoning, and digging pups from dens after being listed under the Endangered Species Act in 1976. The United States and Mexico collaborated to capture all lobos remaining in the wild. Now, this goes back to what we said about the hybrids and keeping these wolves from being an endangered species, which they already were, but they started capturing them and trying to, prevent that from happening. It says after being listed under the Endangered Species Act in 1976, this extreme measure prevented the lobos' extinction. 5 wild Mexican wolves, 4 males and 1 pregnant female, were captured alive in Mexico from 1977, the year Elvis Presley passed away, to 1980, and used to start a captive breeding program. From this program, captive bred Mexican wolves were released into recovery areas in Arizona and New Mexico beginning in 1998. So what they were doing was capturing these wolves. They were tagging them. They were keeping an eye on them and making sure that they were basically just keeping an eye on them, watching what they were doing, keeping tabs on their location and seeing what their behavior was. Many miles wolves would travel to get to one part of a place in another part. So what they would do is they would capture them. Essentially, they would tag them, and that's another way of keeping an eye on them, guys. Basically, keeping them from being extinct, if you know what I mean. From this program, captive bred Mexican wolves were released into recovery areas in Arizona and also New Mexico. As of 2021, there are 186 wild Mexican wolves and 350 in captive breeding programs, and a large improvement over the 11 individuals that were released in Arizona in 1998. So successfully, we want to say that this endangered one species was once endangered, and believe that they made it possible that this wolf could actually, basically come alive again and trying to make more, than it really was, and get more of the Mexican wolves. It says 186 wild Mexican wolves and 350 captive breeding programs. It was the most successful year to date from the recovery program, resulting in the highest number of individual pups born. Pups survived in packs. What's it say? Oh, approximately 60% of total individuals were found in New Mexico and 40% in Arizona, although historically, on an average, both states have had similar amounts of wolves. In 2021, the U.S. population had nearly doubled, guys. It doubled in the past 5 years. These numbers represent the minimum of wolves, since survey the numbers only include wolf sightings confirmed by the field team. So a lot of wolves, man. And the good thing about this program is when they used to catch these wolves, right? Hold on one second. When they did catch the wolves, they would release them into the wild. What's up, Sean, man? Welcome to the podcast. They would release them to the wild, but they would also keep a tag on them. They would also, it wouldn't hurt them, but they would use a method called kind of like shooting, but not killing the animal, just suppressing it, making it fall asleep, and make sure they could tag it and keep an eye on it because the way they breeded these wolves were very crazy. Some were hybrids, some were normal, like the Mexican wolves, and some were being breeded with Mexican wolves and the gray wolf. That's why they do call them the hybrid of a wolf. Um, Now let's go through something here. It's called the lineage of the gray wolves, and um, just a little information about it. So gray wolves migrated from Eurasia, Eurasia, Asia into North America 70,000 to 23,000 years ago, and gave rise to at least two. These are big words. Some of these words and genetically distinct groups. One group is represented by the Beringian wolf, and the other by the modern populations. One author proposes that the Mexican wolf ancestors were likely the first gray wolves to cross the Bering Land Bridge in North America during the late Pleistocene after the extinction of the Beringian wolf, colonizing most of the continent until pushed southwards by newly arrived ancestors of the Great Plains wolf. It says a haplotype is a group of genes found in organisms that are inherited together from one of their parents. A mDNA passes along the material line and can date back thousands of years. This is very interesting about the genes, the different genes in these wolves. A 2005 study compared the DNA sequences of modern wolves with those from a third, fourth specimens dated between 1856 and 1915. The historic population was found to uh, possess twice the genetic diversity of modern wolves, which suggests that the mDNA diversity of wolves were eradicated from the western U.S. was more than twice that of modern population, some possessed by the Mexican wolf, the extinct Great Plains wolf, and the extinct southern Rocky Mountain wolf were found to form a unique southern clade. All North American wolves were all North American wolves grouped together with those except for the southern clade, which from a group exclusive to North America. The wide distribution area of the South clade indicates that the gene flow was extensive across the recognized limits of its subspecies. In 2016, a study of the DNA sequences of both modern and ancient wolves generated phylogenetic tree, which indicated that the two most basal North American haplotypes included the Mexican wolf and the Vancouver Islands wolf. Now, Vancouver Island is very well known for wolves, guys. There is a story about the Vancouver Islands about Takaya, who once swam across that island, very own island there, Vancouver, and he made his way living on that little island there. There's a story about Takaya the wolf there. You guys go ahead and check that out. It's on my YouTube. It's also on YouTube. You just search Takaya, an extraordinary wolf, and this is very extraordinary stuff that I'm reading under the Wikipedia about Mexican wolves and gray wolves and when they came to this country and how they came and the genes. You think about the genes that us humans have, and then compare that to an animal, mammal, on the magnitude of a gray wolf or the Mexican wolf. And it's something really special, you know. In 2018, a study looked at modern fossil in North American wolves and the major limb bones of the dire wolf. That's what they call a dire wolf. The big wolf, looks like the ones you see in Game of Thrones. They call them dire wolves. The Beringian wolf and the most modern North American gray wolves can be clearly distinguished from one another. Well, I would hope so. They're freaking huge, probably. The late I can't. Wolves on both sides of ice sheet possess shorter legs when compared with most modern wolves. The natural in Wyoming, southern. Wow. Just its ancestor, Atlantis of North American wolf-like canines indicates that extinct late Beringian wolf was the ancestor of southern wolf clade, which includes Mexican wolf and extinct Great Plains wolf. The Mexican wolf is most ancestral of the gray wolves and live in North America today, guys. Multiple recent studies using skull measurements and genetic data sets have concluded that the Mexican wolves hybridized in clinical fashion with other wolf subspecies were both met. The Mexican Wolf Recovery Plan 2017, first revision, currently plans manage against such occurrence in the event that northern Rockies and Mexican wolves can't come into contact to protect against genetic swap. Majority of the gray wolves, um, very big wolves, but a majority of the wolves that were combined with each other, like the Mexican gray wolves and I'm sorry, the Mexican wolves and the gray wolves were developed into a hybrid situation. And when they were being tagged in this controlled environment in Arizona, the plan that they had set out was to keep these wolves, um, keep them fed, keep a track, keep an eye on them, and make sure that they were doing good, because what they were trying to do is they were trying to recolonize them, make sure that they were still, um, you know, not going to be going extinct. Just reading this, everything's new here, so um, I mean, for me, it's learning, and it's very interesting to read. You know what I mean? Um, I heard that some people have wolves as pets. Yeah, definitely have like hybrid wolves. Well, I mean, like dog hybrid of a wolf, however you want to call it. Personally, I don't think you could have a wolf as like a pet. I think it's against the law to actually have a full bred wolf as a pet. If I could do that, I probably would. I wonder how the mic sounds, guys. Hopefully, the mic sounds good. Um, I would definitely have. I would have all different types of animals that are wild. A fox, a lion. Uh, how do you guys feel about hyenas, man? Those things. Now, when we talk about wolves and the hyenas line up along the lines of wolves, and the way their jaw is designed is ridiculous. I heard that they have the jaw of like a pit bull's jaw, probably even stronger. The hyenas, they're able to take down animals probably twice their size. Um, a wolf, man. Yeah, it's definitely against the law. I'm pretty sure in some parts of the world where you could have like a permit where it's like half a wolf, Well, half wolf, half dog. You know what I mean? But learning about a hybrid, um, there's two different things between a hybrid dog and a hybrid dog and hybrid wolf. Now, when we talk about hybrid Mexican wolf, and hybrid gray wolf together, the genes are just are amazing. I mean, um, going from being to try to not being instinct to the Arizona wild game trying to basically control and get things back in order from keeping these animals from becoming extinct was amazing. Learning about it and reading about it. Um, but yeah, man, I'd love to have a wolf as a pet. I'd love to have a fox as a pet. You know what I mean? Let's read a little bit more here. While the purity of Mexican wolf DNA composition is important for the time being, a natural free-ranging wolf population on a continental scale, which include hybrid hybridization between different subspecies to occur freely. Mexican wolves are under considerable threat from low genetic diversity and inbreeding because all wild Mexican wolves share, on an average, the same amount of genes as full siblings. So it's very hard, guys. They share the same amount of genes as their full siblings. All present day wild wolves are descendants of original seven called founders. Unlike eastern wolves and red wolves, the gray wolf species rarely interbreeds with coyotes in the wild. That's what at first when I seen the Mexican wolves, I looked at them and I actually thought they were coyotes because they look very similar. And when you look at them, you're like, wow, the Mexican wolf looks, it looks like a freaking, it looks like a wolf. Well, it looks like a coyote. It's kind of cool. I mean, we have coyotes. We have a lot of coyotes over here where I live. It's kind of crazy because we wish that they would have a natural predator of a coyote in these forest areas that I live, but there is nothing that hunts coyotes. Now, as far as wolves go, I've heard that we've had several sightings at the Chain O Lakes Park where I go, the state park. There was like a sighting there like a few years back, but it seems like every single year that maybe there's some wolves that migrate down from the northern part of Wisconsin all the way up in the Michigan area. I'm pretty sure there's wolves in Michigan, um, but they're probably way up in the northern, up there in Michigan somewhere because I don't know if there's any sightings lately around here. Um, it's kind of hard for them to, well, not really hard for them to migrate. I mean, coyotes migrate pretty well. So hold on one second. I got to show you guys this. All right, guys. And we're back. We have a special talking about coyotes and wolves. We have a special friend here that I got in Arizona because Arizona is well known for coyotes and wolves. This is like a hybrid between a coyote and a Mexican wolf right here. And I got this at the National Park Store in Arizona. And yeah, guys, we're if you guys are just joining the podcast, this is Vinnies Talk. It's April the 8th. We're talking coyotes, we're talking wolves, we're talking Mexican wolves. We're talking about life. We're talking about the weather, man. The weather is cloudy, dreary, not a nice day, dude. at all. Believe they said we're supposed to get some snow. Haven't seen any snow yet, but don't count it out because it could happen at any moment, right? We have the beautiful Fiji water. All right. So reading this about the coyotes and the Mexican wolves, very interesting stuff here. It even says that samples of historical red wolves and Mexican wolves from Texas, a few coyote gene or genetic markers have been found in historical samples of some isolated individual Mexican wolves. Likewise, gray wolf chromosomes have also been found in a few individual male Texan coyotes. So when we look into time, into history, we know that they're very similar, man. Especially the Mexican wolf and the coyote have similar genes. So when I look at this little stuffed animal, I see a little bit of the Mexican wolf in it, but knowing that they shared some of the same genes and like bones and stuff is very interesting. Um, yeah, it's just interesting stuff. It says also have been found in a few individual male Texan coyotes. This study suggested that although the Mexican gray wolf is generally less prone to hybridizations with coyotes compared to the red wolf, there may have been exceptional genetic exchanges with the Texan coyotes among a few individual gray wolves from historical remnants before the population was completely expedited, extirpated in Texas. However, the study the same study also countered that the theory with an alternative possibility that it may have been the red wolves, who in turn also once overlapped with both species in the central Texas region, who were involved in circuiting the gene flows between the coyotes and the gray wolves, much like how the eastern wolf is suspected to have bridged gene flows between gray wolves and coyotes in the Great Lakes region, since direct hybridizations between coyotes, gray wolves, and they were considered rare, very rare. It says in tests performed on a sample from a text carcass was officially labeled as microcore DNA analysis conducted. Hmm. Interesting stuff, man. About these different animals, mammals, coyotes, and wolves. Oh my. Learning about how these animals interact with each other and how their bone structures are so similar. Um, when you see a coyote in the forest preserve, you would think that yes, it has the genes of of a wolf, but definitely a different species of an animal, but so much alike. And it's just interesting to read about these interesting characters. The Mexican wolf was held high regard in pre-Columbian Mexico, where it was considered a symbol of war and the sun. In the city of Teotihuacan, it was common practice to crossbreed Mexican wolves with dogs to produce temperamental but loyal animal guardians. Wolves were also sacrificed in religious rituals. Wow. Which involved quartering animals and keeping their heads as attire for priests. What? So they didn't treat these wolves very nice, man. There was a rapid reduction of Mexican wolves populations in southwestern United States from 1915 to the 1920s. The livestock losses to Mexican wolves became rare in areas where it cost once ranged in millions of dollars. Vernon Bailey, writing in the early 1930s, noted that the highest Mexican wolf densities occurred in the open grazing areas of the Gila National Forest, and the wolves were completely absent in the lower Sonora. He estimated that there were 103 Mexican wolves in New Mexico in 1917, though the number had been reduced 45 a year later. By 1927, it had apparently become extinct in New Mexico. Sporadic encounters with wolves entering Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona via Mexico continued through the 1950s until there were two driven away through traps, poison, and guns. Wow. The last wild wolves to be killed in Texas were a male shot on December 5th, 1970, on Cathedral Mountain Ranch, and another caught in a trap on the Joe Neal Brown Ranch on December 28th. Wolves were still being reported in a small number in Arizona in the early 1970s, while accounts of the last wolf to be killed in New Mexico are difficult to elevate, as all the last wolves could not be confirmed as a genuine wolves rather than other candidate species. The Mexican wolf persisted longer in Mexico as human settlement, ranching, and a predator removal came later than in the southwestern United States. Wolf numbers began to rapidly decline during the 1930s and the 1940s when Mexican ranchers began adopting the same wolf control methods as their American counterparts, relying heavily on the indiscriminate use of 1080. Now, introducing the Conservation and Recovery. Learning about the Recovery Act here for the Mexican wolf, man. The Mexican wolf was listed as an endangered under the U.S. Endangered Species Act 1976, with a Mexican wolf recovery team being formed 3 years later by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. The recovery team composed the Mexican the Mexican wolf recovery plan, which called for the reestablishment of at least 100 wolves in their historic range through a captive breeding program. What did I tell you guys? There were several videos about this, about how they captured the wolves and they breeded them together, which were kind of like, in a sense, they were hybriding them, you know? Very interesting stuff. It says, which recalled a reestablishment of at least 100 wolves. Between 1977 and 1980, four males and a pregnant female were captured in Durango and Chihuahua, Mexico, wait, and to act as founders of a new certified lineage by 1999, with an addition of new lineages and captive Mexican wolf populations to the U.S. and Mexico reached 178 individuals. These captive bred animals were subsequently released into the Apache National Forest. Man, I got to get out to Apache National Forest. I was seeing it on the map in Arizona. It looks fantastic. It looks phenomenal. Like a cool like place to go visit and check out. I believe you have to have a permit to go to the Apache National Forest. It's in eastern Arizona. It says it's in eastern Arizona and allowed to recolonize east central Arizona, south central New Mexico, south central New Mexico areas, which were collectively teamed the Blue Range recovery area. The recovery plan called for the release of an additional wolves in the White Sands Wolf Recovery Area in south central New Mexico, should the goal of 100 wild wolves in the Blue Range area not be achieved. By late 2012, it was estimated that there were at least 75 wolves and 4 breeding pairs living in the recovery areas. The 27% of the population consisting of pups. Excuse me, guys. Whew. Let me see. Captain Thompson. Since 1998, 92 wolf deaths were recorded, with 4 occurring in 2012. These 4 were all due to illegal shootings. Release have also conducted in Mexico, and a first birth of a wild wolf litter in Mexico reported in 2014. A study released by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in February 2015 shows a minimum population of 109 wolves in 2014 in southwest New Mexico and southern East Arizona, a 31% increase from 2013. In 2015, a court ordered the U.S. Fish Wildlife revise the management rules. According to a survey done on the population of the Mexican wolf in Alpine, Arizona, the recovery of the species is being negatively impacted due to poaching. We got to stop the poaching, man. It's an exotic animal, you know. I don't understand why people want to kill wolves, dude. In an effort to fight the slowing recovery, GPS monitoring devices are being used to monitor the wolves. So what they would do is these recovery teams would go out. They would basically give the wolf a shot. They would be in these helicopters looking for them. This is not the bad part because this is how they control the wolves and keep an eye on them. And they would use a sniper uh, tool and shoot them with a medicine. And then once they get them out, they pick them up, they tag them up, and then they would let them go. And this is how they would mark them and follow them and keep an eye on them. Um, I think it's the best thing they could have done to keep this wolf population alive. Arizona, I think, did a really good job with trying to keep the name of the Mexican wolf alive and just keep the breed going. You know, in case you guys are just joining, this is Vinnie's Talk. We are talking about wolves. We're talking about life. You know, we're talking about a little bit about everything in the podcast. Um, so if you guys are just joining, welcome to the podcast. We'll read a little bit back if you guys haven't, you're just joining us. According to the survey done on the population of the Mexican wolf in Alpine, Arizona, the recovery of the species is being negatively impacted because due to poaching, people are recklessly killing these mammals, however you want to say it. In effort to fight the slow recovery of GPS monitoring devices are used to monitor the wolves. In a 2016, 14 Mexican wolves were killed, making it the highest death count of any year since they were reintroduced into the wild in 1998. 2 of the deaths were caused by officials trying to collar the animals. So not all these occurrences with keeping the collars and the natural method of trying to do this was successful as we would think, but more successful than a hunter would be doing to these animals. You know what I mean? Um, the rest of the deaths remain under investigation. As of July 2017, approximately 31 wild Mexican gray wolves inhabited Chihuahua and the Sonora Desert, Sonora, Mexico, and the northern Sierra Madre. As of 2017, 114 Mexican gray wolves were living in the wild in Arizona and New Mexico, distributed in 22 packs across the 2 states. In February 2018, 5 more wolves were released in Chihuahua, bringing the new total wild population in New Mexico, Sonora, and Chihuahua to 37 wolves. In 2018, 6 Mexican wolf pups from the Endangered Wolf Center were sent to dens in Arizona and New Mexico for their survival. Wow. In 2019, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service discovered that 52 of 90 wolf pups born in earlier in 2018 had survived to adulthood. These new wolves brought the number of Mexican gray wolves in Arizona and New Mexico to 163, with 87 wolves in New Mexico and 76 in Arizona. The 2019 census also found more than 30 in Mexico. Wow. In June of 2021, a year-old male Mexican wolf named Incubus traveled out of the Mexican wolf recovery area and settled in Coconino National Forest in central Arizona. He was one of the several Mexican gray wolves to have dispersed into the area over several years. The male individual may be the first permanent resident of Mexican gray wolves to settle in the Coconino National Forest. So we do have a Mexican gray wolf in a national park, in a national forest. This is amazing to hear this. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service was ordered by the court to review the rule that caps of the U.S. population at 325 wolves. A draft proposal is expected to in the fall of 2021, but a final version is not due until July 2022. In 2021, a male Mexican gray wolf was stopped from crossing from New Mexico into Mexico by a section of border wall. On March 9, 2022, two breeding of pairs of Mexican gray wolves were released into the wild in the state of Chihuahua in North Mexico, bringing the total number of Mexican gray wolves in the country to around 45 wild individuals. As of March 30th, 2022, there are also now approximately 196 Mexican gray wolves living in the wild of Arizona and New Mexico. So this is great news that they are being reintroduced. Recovery teams are coming along nicely, and I'm happy that that Mexican wolves, man, are starting to be a thing again. You know what I'm saying? The wolves are coming back, and we got to stop the poaching, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, remind me if I when you talk a lot, you gotta drink a lot of water. I lose my train of thought sometimes when I'm reading. Disability kicks in, you know what I'm saying? But it's all what it is. We do our best here, guys, on Vinny's Talk, on the podcast. And we try to do our best at these things. So we have our buddy here. He's just chilling. Anyways, what's going on, guys? How you doing? It's about to be today's Friday. It's about to be Saturday. What is the plan? What is the word, man, here for the weekend? We wish that the weather was nice, right? The weather is bipolar. The weather's always bipolar in Chicago. Oh, look at this. Now it's finally looks like we're getting some precipitation out there, guys. It's kind of been like this for the last 4 or 5 days now, where it's like rainy, and then you look outside, it's like rainy. It's like rainy, and then it's cold. Then you see like a little bit of the sun, and you think it's nice, and it's rainy, and then it's cold. We'll just put him right there. Right? It's rainy, it's cold, and you know what I'm saying? He's chilling like a villain. Somehow you can put him up like that. Right? Leave him like that. Oh, it's a cute little thing though. So let me see. So when I went to Arizona, I couldn't find like a actual gift shop where they would. Well, I mean, our resort had a gift shop, but I couldn't find an actual like gift shop where they sell like the shirts that I wanted in Arizona, like just like a cool looking mountain shirt, as you would call it. But I went to the Catalina State Park, and they had a little like store there. And then I talked to one of the rangers. Oh, these rangers are the rangers are really nice. I talked to one of the national park, state park rangers, and he had said that there's a national park store. So that's where I got this little guy at the national park store, and the national park store is actually really cool because they have all the national parks in Arizona. They had like keychains, they had jewelry, t-shirts. They had a lot of cool stuff that you wouldn't have like the normal, I guess, at the normal gift shop or whatever. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we had a good time in Arizona, man. We're definitely I'm definitely planning another trip. I'm not sure when. Not sure when, guys. Hold on 1 second. The champ is here. You guys are just joining the podcast, man. It's your boy Vinnies. Talk. Vinny D in the house, man. We got the titles right here, guys. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are just joining, we were just talking about wolves, coyotes, different populations, the different genes. We had Sean in the house. Really, I don't know if Sean's still in here. If he's gonna make a little noise. What's up, Sean? What's up, all the subscribers, whoever that watches? Today's Friday, man. We got SmackDown tonight. We're gonna see Roman. Roman fans are gonna see him live. You know what I'm saying? We're excited about. We're excited about Backlash, WrestleMania. Whoever watched WrestleMania was good. We had enjoyed watching Charlotte versus Ronda. I really thought Ronda was gonna win that match. Ronda, man, I feel like WWE's kind of been cheating out of Ronda, dude, over the last couple over the last year. Like they built up that match, and then like I thought Ronda was gonna take it, and she didn't win, dude. Oh man, we got the titles in hand. You know what I'm saying? This is your boy Bennett Talk. So I really think the storyline between Ronda and Charlotte was good, the build up to it. But I still feel like they need to do like a rematch. And I feel like maybe they even should do like a match between Bayley and Charlotte. Well, Bayley's still injured, but she needs to come back because we miss seeing her, man. Of course, we got your girl Sasha and Naomi, the women's tag team champions. So we're excited about them as champs. And now who's going to challenge Roman? Because Roman's a double champ. He's got the heavyweight, and he's got the right here. He's got the universal championship. So we got to figure out what Roman's going to do now. What's his next? What's his plan? What's his next step for the titles? How's he going to defend it? Excited about Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is back. You know what I'm saying? Today we also learned that, as I was doing a podcast earlier, well, before I jumped on the podcast, Um, Will Smith had, I guess the Academy banned him for 10 years, so he can't go to award shows for the 10 years. Now everybody's speculating how. Do you think that's enough time? Did he not get enough time? Should he have gotten his award taken away? I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. All I know is that he shouldn't have basically he shouldn't have basically done that. Jumped on stage and slapped somebody like that. Um, you know, Definitely not the right thing to do. But learning that banning Will Smith for 10 years, I don't know, dude. That's a big that's a long that's not short, dude. That's a long time. Yeah, that was the breaking news like half an hour ago that he basically got banned from any award, the Academy Awards, for the next 10 years. You think it's a little extreme? He says, I think the Academy banning Will Smith for the next 10 years is a little extreme, honestly. Man, hey, I don't know. My personal opinion on it is that maybe you should think twice about like what you're doing. And honestly, I feel like you know, in a way, like I'm not trying to blame it all on Jada, but it's like negative towards his lifestyle. Um, she was kind of abusive towards him. Like even with her like doing her open relationship and all that other stuff, like dude, like I feel like she has an impact on him, and maybe why he just wanted to go up there and do that to Chris Rock and like, yeah, dude, it's says the reason I say that is because 10. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a long time too. It's definitely not short. 10 years, man. That's a whole decade. 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time. Um, so maybe you're right. Maybe it is a long. It's definitely like something that maybe they should have discussed more. But I think that by banning him is a good thing to do. But 10 years, man, that's a long time. You know. So I don't know how to feel about 10 years. It's a long time. Like for me personally, like I really enjoy Will Smith. I mean, I loved his movies. I thought he was a great role model for like even when he was younger. But obviously, what he didn't make him a role model at this point. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously we all fuck up. We're all humans. We all do things, and we all have downsides. And, we do things that make mistakes. But like, I'm pretty sure now he's gonna learn. Um, that's something you really don't do. Is you go on stage and excuse me, you just don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I think this is like a whole. Basically, it's gonna be like a whole new learning process for him, for Will Smith. It's gonna be basically, you know, learning. Everything's gonna be a learning process for him. You know, these titles are nice and heavy, so they keep falling. This one's not that heavy, but this one right here got some weight to it. Got my Gabby bracelet. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. But yeah, it's definitely a learning process. And what happens? We'll see what happens out of the saga, as you would call it, the Will Smith saga. I don't feel like Jada is helping out, man. I feel like if anything, she's the one who kind of contributed to his behavior. You know, uh, she gave him that look. She gave him that look, y'all. He looked, because when he was sitting there, he just looked right. He looked up, and he was laughing at first. We see him laugh. You see the guy laughing. He was all smiling. He was all smiles. He's all smiles, and then all of a sudden she looks at him, and then he's all of a sudden he's Mr. Jumping up and down guy. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. He wants to jump on the stage and slap the dude. That's what I just. You can't let someone else's emotions get the best of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Just because, or she's trying to tell you something, so you're gonna go ahead and hop up there just because she's telling you to do it. Nah, man. Nah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, guys, at all. Anyways, guys, welcome to Vinny's Talk. If you guys are just joining, man, we're almost an hour into this thing here. When you're doing the live stream, it doesn't really seem that long. Yesterday we were talking about the Titanic. Today we're talking about wolves. The gloomy day outside. It's a gloomy day. It seems like the gloominess is not going away. Why the hell isn't it going away? And then the cancel culture. I'm tired of the cancel culture, y'all. You try to attack someone for things they did 20 fucking years ago. We don't do that here, man. We don't like that kind of stuff. We don't condone that shit. We don't like that shit, man. I'm not with all that cancel culture bullshit. You ain't gonna do nothing like that, man. You can't be doing that. That's not cool. If someone did like Will Smith, like even though what he did was wrong, but if we still hear about this the next 20 years, you know what I'm saying? We 20 years from now, I'm sure we're gonna hear about it. But I mean, like, you can't hold someone accountable 20 years later for shit that they did. If they already paid that, they paid their way in life. Then, like, 20 years later, that's the thing with the CK situation, the comedian. Like, he paid his debt, man. Leave him alone, man. That cancel culture, man. That shit coming for everybody, and I don't agree with it. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you pay your way in life, man. You do your time and shit. Like, that's your time, dude. You pay your time, and that's it. Like, I can't respect the fact that people want to hold things against you. That shit that happened like 20 years ago, and you already did your time for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. We ain't doing that, bro. We champs over here. Let's see what he's trying. She looked pissed, and then Will Smith got mad, and he did what, right? Yeah, he could have handled it better. Will Smith should join the WWE, man. You know what I'm saying? What if that was? I just say like this, in a perspective and mindset, in a different mindset. Look at it this way. What if that was you or me? What if I was a comedian, and if you were the comedian, and Will Smith jumps on stage, right? And I tell everybody this, man, like, you're approaching me, right? You're approaching me. Before you get this close to me, why are you approaching me? You already know what you're gonna do, right? So I'm not gonna let you just like slap me like that. Shit, if someone slaps me like that, dude, they gonna ain't gonna be no slap. That's getting hammered straight to the face. Will Smith, man, nah, bro. I don't agree with that. I really don't agree. I would not let that happen. You know what I'm saying? No one's just gonna slap me on stage like that. And by the Academy doing what they did, we applaud that. Like you said, like, yeah, it might be a little bit, but hey, he did what he did, man. He knew what he did. Some may speculate and say that he didn't know what he was going to do before he got up. Oh, yes, he did. I mean, look at the facts. The facts present themselves. I mean, you could see everything that happened in the video. I mean, in the video. For me, I don't know. If he really wanted to hop up there, he wouldn't have done it. But I mean, it is what it is. So now the consequences are that he's got to be banned for 10 years. I mean, it is what it is type shit. I mean, we could say that it's a lot. It's not a lot. Um, and then the whole situation with his wife, Jada, whatever, you got to think about like, she basically he tried to please her, and look what happened. You know what I'm saying? Look what happened. So it's like if he does it, he loses. If he does it, he loses. He can't win with her. He can't win with her. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he can't win with her. No matter what he does, he can't make her happy because she's freaking nut job. I mean, that's just how I see it, dude. No strings attached, no filter, man. I'm gonna keep it real as hell. I'm gonna keep it real. That's what we doing, keeping it real, right? Everybody wants to say keep it real. We keep it real. Um, that look that she gave him. He settled with that, and yeah, maybe he could have handled it a little better. He definitely could have handled it better for sure. But that's what I'm saying, dude. When I see that, I'm like, he definitely could have handled it better. But it is what it is, When you get caught up in the limelight, when you get caught in that Hollywood bullshit, that's what another thing about the Hollywood shit, man. I feel like once you get in that Hollywood mindset, maybe his thinking was, I'm not going to get in trouble for this. Like maybe that's what he thought. Maybe he's like, he probably thought like, yeah, I'm Will Smith and I'm not going to get in trouble. Well, you thought wrong, bud. Hollywood, I mean, it's a nasty place, dude. Everybody thinks that Hollywood is the best because, you're at the top of the line and all this stuff, but until you become the champ, you know what I'm saying? Until you the champ, that needle mover. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like that's it's full of shit. Hollywood's full of shit. We're going on an hour and 2 minutes, guys. 3:47. We're on Vinnies Talk. We got the titles here. We got SmackDown tonight. We got the Boss tonight. SmackDown on legit Boss Sasha Banks, Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, man. Tune in to Fox later tonight on SmackDown. It's gonna be a good one. Definitely a dreary day, cloudy day. Not very nice outside, guys. It's not nice outside. The weather hasn't been cooperating. I don't know why, man. I don't know why we're not getting like sunny days. I mean, it's almost the middle of April. Come on, give us a few sunny days, 60s. They say it's going to be 54, 55 on Sunday, but man, I don't see it, man. I mean, yeah, it might happen, you know what I'm saying? It might happen, but these cloudy dreary days, y'all, I'm not liking that too much. The best water, Fiji, guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, George, I heard you guys were having some cloudy in Georgia. I heard you guys were having some pretty bad thunderstorms and severe weather down in Georgia. Is that still happening? The weather in Chicago, man, it's definitely something to see. We get weather down here. It's like one day it's 70 degrees. The next day it's freaking snowing. April's all right. I mean, we're supposed to be like it's not now start heading more into like when it's like sunny but the last couple of days, dude, we've been having the cloudy weather, cold. We don't know if we're gonna get snow type shit. Not looking forward towards freaking like cloudy days. Like we just want to get on the motorcycle do some riding. Yeah, man, because you get tired of just sitting around. I mean, I love jumping on the podcast, doing a live, you know what I'm saying? I'm Vinnies talk, you know what I mean? I like doing this relieving stress. The stress reliever is good, man, to obviously have that output to um, you know, it's good to have an output. There's an article that I really wanted to read though. Let me see. I think I got a notification. I got a notification here, and it's saying that the FDA investigating complaints of Lucky Charms causes gastrointestinal issues. Wow. Consumers are allegedly a popular breakfast cereal is making them sick. More than 100 people posted iwaspoisoned.com claiming General Mills Lucky Charms caused them to experience a variety of gastrointestinal issues. This site called itself a consumer-led website for diners to report suspected food poisoning or bad food experiences. Now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is pretty fucked up because we got Lucky Charms. I eat Lucky Charms. I haven't ate Lucky Charms in a while, but I already got fucking stomach issues, man. I got fucking IBS, you know. I don't need no more stomach issues, man. And now reading this shit, there's more here. There's more here. Well, what do you say? It looks like far north Georgia, there could be snow. Yeah, well, snow for you guys and thunderstorms was like 2 or 3 days ago for you guys, wasn't it? So it says consumers on the website complained of nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, and overall feeling of sickness. So what they're basically saying is don't buy fucking Lucky Charms. The FDA has its own system to track consumer complaints. It's called CAERS database. That database has received 41 reports related to Lucky Charms since 2004. Only 3 of those reports were received in 2021 and only was related to the complaints listed as iwaspoisoned.com. The FDA said in a statement sent to Nexstar, General Mills said it was taking the complaints very seriously after doing a thorough interval investigation. We have not found any evidence that these complaints are attributed to our products, said Andrea Williamson, a company spokesperson. We encourage consumers to please share any concerns directly with General Mills to ensure they can be appropriately addressed. When the FDA starts an investigation, depending on the seriousness of the problem, an FDA investigator may visit the person who made the complaint, collect product samples, and initiate inspections, the agency said in a statement. In serious cases or those that appear to be isolated incidents, the FDA monitors incoming information and considers inspecting a production faculty in the future. The FDA takes seriously any reports of possible food that might also cause illness. So basically, what they're saying is Lucky Charms, people are reporting that Lucky Charms is giving them diarrhea. Well, I already got stomach issues, so anything IBS, I ain't fucking eating that shit no more. Nah, I just got a notification for reading this, so I was like, figure I read it. That's pretty interesting, though. I haven't had cereal in a long time, and I've always thought Lucky Charms was gross. Yeah, I don't eat Lucky Charms that much. Although I have it, I just don't really eat it too much, you know? But we will tell you to drink your Fiji water. I honestly say that Fiji water probably some of the cleanest and best water I've ever drank is natural artesian water. I really like the Fiji water because I just feel like it tastes so good when it's cold. It goes down like really smooth. Also, drink a lot of distilled water. Almost 4 o'clock. I was gonna say, don't forget, guys, to check out my special premiere of the 110th year anniversary of the Titanic, which will be premiering next week, Thursday, April 14th. That's gonna be something special. I put a lot of effort into it. I think we talk a little bit about a story in the Titanic, and we have a good. That's a good little anniversary. I usually do it every year, and it's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys could hear the heater. Heater keeps kicking on. Yeah. So let's take a look at the weather. The next 7 to 10 days. What do they say? We got. There's a little mob. Where's Lil Mob? All right, we got the little wolf in the house. All right, we got Lil Ma in the house here. She's she came to say hi a little bit. She was in the living room, so might as well have her come say hi before we get off here in a couple minutes. Oh yeah, that's Lil Mama. There's a good girl. All right, Tina, let's read the weather. Yeah. So the weather today says 90% rain. What do you want from me, man? It's been raining for the last 4 days. Sunday says a high of 58, maybe 60 degrees. We'll see. We'll see if we get to 60 degrees. 58, they're saying. All right. And Monday next week, 59 and rain. What do you want from me? It's Vinny D. Hopefully we get a sunny day, right, Lil Ma? Right? All right, all right. All right, she wants to go play. Lil Ma just came to say hi a little bit. Chilling with your boy Vinnies. Hey, Vinny D, the young wolf man. We're on Vinny's Talk. If you guys are just joining, we're always just joining the podcast, man. Little Ma just came to say hi. So, like I said, man, Monday 50% rain, Tuesday 50% rain, Wednesday 70% rain, but 70 degrees. So you mean to tell me you're gonna give me 70 degrees with 70% rain? What the hell's going on here, guys? What's going on here? I don't like it, man. I mean, I like the temperature. I like the temperature, but I don't like the rain, man. Why's it got to keep raining every day? Thursday, 40% rain, 61 degrees. Friday next week, 49. So maybe it'll go up to like 52. It's possible that it could reach 52, maybe, possibly. We'll see. Who really knows? You know what I mean? Now, when I do these lives, I really don't come on live too much. The last couple days, the last week, should I say, that we've been doing lives because I've been bored. So I just figure I'd do something new. But I will continue to do my regular upload of my Vinnies Talk because I know the lives are way different and the video looks a little bit different too. the quality is not that great. But what do you want, man? We try to do our best. We try to come on here and do a podcast. So yeah, it just basically says that or a podcast live. So maybe it's a little different, but um, 49 degrees next Friday. My dog's name is Little Mama. We call her Tita, aka Lil Mama. Her real name's Lil Mama. Lil, I'm saying. Where's that little ma? Um, she's like a little ghost. She looks like Ghost. Oh, yeah. So 49 degrees Friday, next Friday. And tomorrow says 46, cloudy. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this weather we've been having. Maybe the Lord will give us. Thank you. Thank you, Sean B. Sean B. Thank you, sir. Vinny D. Thank you, sir. Whoever else is watching the podcast, thank you guys for joining. You know what I mean? We're not going anywhere just yet. Um, we're just chilling right now. Not really much to do, so figure we do a podcast and do a live, and you know, the next podcast we do, we're gonna do probably upload podcast because the lives, although I do like once in a while coming on the live and doing a podcast like that, but it's just the camera. It's not the greatest quality. I mean, it's still decent from a webcam, but when I do my podcast from like my phone and I edit it and I do all that cool stuff, it's kind of better than doing a not saying anything take away from a live stream, but when you do a live stream, it's a little different, especially because I'm trying to build the subscribers and I don't have enough to do like a live stream on my mobile phone because of my subscriber count. That's why you guys have to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build that subscriber up, that count. But, you know, with me, it's not about that, man. It's just about the passion. Even though I say subscribe, if you don't want to, you don't have to. What it would be nice if you did, you know what I'm saying? So you can help your boy. Help your boy, man. Benny. Help your boy out a little bit, you know, but that's the goal. And like I said before, man, I've been doing my premieres and my upload podcast for quite some time. For at least the last 2 years, we've been working on a podcast. Like I said, it started off with me just talking, and one day I just decided to like, hey, let's turn it into something different. Let's turn it into a I don't know, let's turn it into a podcast of some sort, and maybe go 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes every 2 days. There'll be days where I did it like 10 minutes each. I did like 3 days a week because it's definitely time consuming, especially when you're doing editing, especially from either from your laptop. If you're using your laptop or you're using editing on your laptop or your cell phone, you're doing, because I like to use iMovie a lot, and I do a lot of editing on there. And I don't know, man, it's just the editing software on iMovie is really cool. You guys can see the Gabby tattoo. Let it be. Using the iMovie software to do the edits, and it works really great. It works really great because I'm pretty sure you could do some editing on this freaking laptop. I just don't like the quality. I think it's like 720 the most. Like my cell phone, I can get at least 4K, 60 frames per second. So that's why I really do enjoy doing my uploads from my podcast more than I do like streaming. But every once in a while, I'll do a long stream because it's cool, because when you do a stream, you can actually do like a really long podcast, an hour 30 or 2 hours or an hour, instead of just doing like 5 or 10 minutes. But I think it's kind of cool to do for me just to do it shorter. That way I could I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's different because most podcasts are like more than an hour or at least an hour long. But I try to do like, I don't know, 28 minutes. I was peaking at like 5 to 10 minutes of podcast, anywhere from 5 to like 15 minutes of podcast. But like I said, when you're doing live streams, you could extend the minutes more to hours or whatever, an hour. But when you're not doing a live stream and you're just doing freaking, I don't know, just doing a freaking, like, you're doing upload, you got to do the editing though. You got to edit it, go, look at it, that kind of thing when you're doing a podcast. But like I said, man, I've been doing this podcast we've been doing Vinnies Talk for the last 2 years. And sometimes we'll take a break. We'll take a break from it because I got a lot of stuff to do. But lately, I've been wanting to do some more uploads and stuff like that on the podcast. So because I like to do it, man. It's definitely a stress reliever, and we got a chance to talk a little bit on the podcast. So I just picked up these another pair of these skull candies. These are really good skull candy headphones, by the way. I use these when I go riding, when I go hiking, or I do like my podcast and I do my upload podcast on the go or when I'm going. I don't know, man. I've always enjoyed using skull candies. Work the best. They're not that expensive, but you could find some really expensive headphones. Anywhere from like $29 all the way up to like $69, $70. But these are good Bluetooth headphones. If you're jogging, if you're hiking, these are the skull candy. When you're hiking, if you're on your bike, it says it's a secure fit, water resistant, 6 hours, totally battery-less, and controls your music. And also it has a microphone. It comes with all this definitely cool stuff right there. So yeah, I use these Jib XT wireless simplicity skull candy, and they work very well. This is my second pair of these headphones. So if you guys haven't seen this, man, go ahead and check out the skull candies. I use them, man. I think they're good. But I also use a couple different microphones for my podcast, like this microphone I'm using for the headset. And then this microphone right here. It's pretty good, it's really good. It works pretty good. So, but yeah, I'm just chilling, guys. I'm chilling. We got the Honda CBR. That's your boy right there on the Honda CBR 650F. Oh, yeah. Got the belt on, if you guys can see it. Took that with my DSLR camera. I like how the DSLR camera has a really good sensor on it. Definitely people say that you can take really good pictures with your cell phone, but not like the pictures you can't get, man, with the pictures you can get with the DSLR camera. They're making these cell phones like so advanced though now these days, where you could take such a beautiful picture from your cell phone and you don't even need to go and buy that expensive camera that we would all go and buy that expensive camera to take on vacation, to take on the road or with us when we go hiking or something like that. I don't know if you guys can see these headphones, but they change colors. They're really cool. But yeah, I really like using the DSLR camera because you can go ahead and edit in the raw photography mode. When you take raw pictures instead of JPEGs, you definitely see the color dynamics, and you could switch out the sharpness and the color tones and the different tones in picture, man. It really comes out. It's really nice. And so yeah, that picture that I just showed you guys, this picture of me, is I took that with the DSLR, the Nikon 3200D 3200. It's a good camera. Been using it for the last year, and I also want to get more in tune with it. So I think I'm gonna do some more photography this summer when I get a chance, and the weather starts breaking. So we get some like better weather, because the weather we've been dealing with is like shitty weather, like really shitty weather, man. Actually, I wanted to go ahead and look at this AccuWeather. Let's see here. It's funny because I look on some of these other apps. Well, when you look on like ABC, they'll tell you that it's going to be like a certain temperature, then it's not. AccuWeather, and it tells you something totally different. I don't know why. They trying to confuse me. Rain and snow, 97% rain and snow. Saturday, 45%, or actually 14%. So tomorrow it says it's supposed to be 45 degrees. Sunday says 56. Monday says breezy with a few showers. Tuesday, a couple showers, occasional rain, and a thunderstorm Wednesday. So you give me a 70, but the weather's a crap. And Easter probably going to be chilly with a high of only 45. So you go and figure it's probably going to be cold. You know. Let's see here. All right. We want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the Mexican gray wolves. And we want to talk about the endangered species of the Mexican gray wolves. I believe we talked a little bit about earlier. We call them mammals. Mammals. If you guys are just joining the podcast, you are welcome to Vinnies Talk, man. Today's the April 8th. You guys are joining a special broadcast, man. Live version of Vinnies Talk. Whew. All right. Thank you guys, first of all, for joining, and welcome. You guys are just joining. We're going to be talking a little bit more in depth about Mexican gray wolves. Now, a highly intelligent, socially complex carnivore is the most endangered wolf subspecies in the world. Native to the mountains woodlands of the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, this rare canine suffered a habitat loss and other human impacts so great that it has been effectively absent from American landscape for more than half a century. Intensive expansion into the American Southwest in the early 20th century marked the beginning of end of Mexican gray wolves in the United States, with settlement and its related activities reducing natural prey populations. Wolves increasingly turned to domestic livestock for food, threatening livestock operations, and perceived threat to human settlement in general meant an all-out war against Mexican gray wolf. By mid-century, Americans had achieved their goal of culling the gray and brown-coated predator. Mexican gray wolves were eradicated in the Southwest. The wolf numbers in Mexico were greatly reduced through the 1900s, making repopulation by migration all more difficult. The Mexican gray wolf weighs between 60 to 80 pounds and stands 26 to 32 inches high at the shoulder. Its long legs and celibate body help it to run quickly after its prey, mostly large hoofed mammals like elk and deer. Hunting is no easy task for the wolf, though, as it usually takes several individuals working closely together to take down a meal, which only happens a few times a week. Because Mexican gray wolves live in packs, they usually include an adult pair and their offspring. The death of one individual severely impacts the entire group's ability to hunt and therefore sustain itself. The subspecies is the most distinct among its canine relatives, which already diminished Mexican gray wolf population, especially vulnerable into breeding, disease, and natural disaster. The Mexican gray wolf has been recognized as an endangered species since 1976, and like we said before, about 300 individuals currently live in captivity between the United States and Mexico 20 years after gaining the endangered status. These rare predators were returned to the Southwest through a binational reintroduction program. 11 captured individuals were released into the Arizona and western New Mexico in 1998 throughout region known as the Blue Range Wolf Recovering Area. When we talked about the Blue Range Recovering Area, the recovery program has not attained its goal of restoring at least 100 wild wolves by the 2006. There are approximately 58 individuals in the wild as of 2011. We are far from seeing the Mexican wolf restored in its former glory. The greatest threats to these wolves are humans and its misconceptions about their nature. Although wolf related livestock deaths are minimal, less than 1% per year, and no people have been attacked since the reintroduction of the Mexican gray wolf in the United States. People are still afraid and resentful of these creatures' presence near their communities, and may be difficult to rally against 100 plus years of negative feelings surrounding the Mexican gray wolf. But it's the goal of the Endangered Species Coalition to help shift popular sentiment to a better, more accurate understanding of the species' role in our nation's ecological heritage. Hopefully, in a time and with your help, we will see Mexican gray wolves return home fully to their natural habitat, and we can better to share the American landscape with this stunning animal. So I would ask any people out there if you guys could donate to the American um, wolf population or the endangered species or any wolf um, donation project to keep these predators, to keep these wild wolves, man. Keep the bloodline going. It's an amazing. I wanted to talk for a couple minutes. It's amazing to learn different things about these wolves because whether it's the gray wolf, whether it's the Mexican wolf, we know that they definitely have kind of a similar being um, through the patterns of their bones, through the structure in their body, and their behaviors of these animals, and even going all the way down to coyotes and red wolves. These animals are very similar. They're also not only similar, but they're also close to being almost that they were extinct, but now that they're coming back and Arizona wildlife gained populations there to help them. It's such an amazing story. And even though that they are almost far from hitting that number where they think they could, where that number was supposed to be or whatnot, but we just ask people to donate to any wolf organization to keep wonderful wildlife going. Um, so when I learn new things like that, it's cool, and I really love to learn stories and read articles of that such because it's definitely good for the mind, but it's also good to have knowledge of the great wolves. Not only the great wolves, the great Mexican wolves, the red wolves, and also the coyotes, man. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about coyotes so much because they just hear the negative side of these little bastards. Coyotes prey on your small dogs. That's why I gotta watch my small dog. But you know what? We're all animals in this together. And you guys are on Vinnies Talk, man. You guys been joining Vinnies Talk for the last hour and a half. And thank you guys for joining, man. But we're about a few seconds away from cutting it out and ending it, man. We've been out for almost an hour and a half. And thank you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like and subscribe today, guys. Um, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And yeah, man, we're gonna hop off, man. And now, thank you guys for joining the podcast. Today we talked a little bit about wolves. We talked a little bit about the weather, as lovely it is. It's definitely not lovely, man. The weather's not lovely, man. You know, you take a look out there, it's cloudy. It's not that great, you know what I mean? We need more we definitely need more sunny days. Hopefully the Lord is good. You know what I'm saying? God is good. He will bring us the sunshine. So I want to thank you guys for joining on this April Friday. It's been a podcast, man, of Vinnies talk. And until the next time, peace out, man. Peace out, guys. Peace out.